Welcome back, my awesome people. Today, as I want to show you on how to make this mini dress, the one you can see on the thumbnail there. That is exactly what I want to make now, and I have two fabrics to combine together in order for me to get a unique kind of look in this kind of dress. So what I have here now is 3 yards, and what I have here now is 1 yard. This 1 year will not be enough, but at least it will go far because this is what is available from my client. So how to make this blouse? What I'm going to do is to divide my hip divided by 4, plus 1 inch for ease, then 1.5 for sewing allowance. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fold my fabric, getting my full length of my dress, which I want to make my full length, plus my hip divided by 4, plus 1 inch for ease, then plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. So without wasting much of your time, let me go on and do that, and I'll come back to show you on how I will get that. Okay, so right here I have gone ahead to get my calculation, and I have cut out 2 pieces of my fabric, and as you may know, this is the wrong part of my fabric which I want to mark with my shawl. So when you want to do something like this, make sure you are marking with your wrong side of your fabric. And what I'm going to do next is to get my hemming line at the down part. So my hemming line at the down part, this depends on how many, it is not constant, it depends on how many you may like it to be. So what I want to go with about 2.53 inches. So I'm going with 2.5 inch for my hemming allowance at the down part, which I'm going to fold. So this is my 2.5 which I have at my down part. Then I fold it like this because it is going to be like this when sewing. You are going to hem this or you sew it, whichever way you want to do it, but I'm still going to show you on how I do mine. So what I have here now is 2.5 and 2.5. So what I'll do now, we go ahead to get my full length of my dress. So the full length of my dress is 38. I'm going to make it 38 and a half. Why 38 and a half? Because the half inch is for my joining of my shoulder. So this is 38. Can you see what I'm doing? This is 38 and a half. My full length is 38. I am including 0.5 inch for my sewing joining allowance for the shoulder. So this is my 38.5 which I have here, and 38.5 which I have here as well to get my marks. I want to connect it together just like this. Connect it together. So after you have done connecting yours together like this, what you are going to do now is to cut this out, because this is no longer included in our measurement, so we have to cut this out. So which way should I work with? I can work either ways. I want to know the position that will be easier for you to understand on how to cut this. So once we have this now, this is the upper parts of which we are working with. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my vertical measurement. Then what I'm going to do is to get my shoulder to bust. So for this case, my shoulder to bust is 10. I'll make it 10.5. This is why you need to add this 5, as I always say in all of my videos. So this is a full shoulder. It is my shoulder to bust is 10. I'll make it 10.5 because of the half inch I'm going to sew from this shoulder. So after taking this half inch from this shoulder, it is going to fall back at 10. So 10.5 which I have here. My under bust is 13, making it 13.5. Then my waist measurement is 2 inches from your under bust, so 1 to 15.5. So I'm going to make it 16 for my waist. 15.5 is my waist. Half inch after joining there, it falls to 16, to 15.5. Sorry. So after doing this, what you are going to do next is to get your shoulder measurement. And what I am making now, my shoulder measurement is 15 divided by 2 will give me 7.5. So 7.5, which I have here. Then my then 7.5 which I have here, then I come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. 1 inch for my shoulder slope. And how to get your armhole is your bust divided, after getting this, your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. That is what you are going to get here. So it should be, mine should be 7.5. Let me see what I have here. Your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. That should be your under bust, your armhole, sorry, your armhole measurement. Plus 1.5 give me 7.2. Give me 7.2. So I have my 7.7 7.2. So my so my armhole measurement now is 7.2. My bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. What I got, that is what I put from here. This is my 1 inch for sewing allowance for my shoulder slope. Sorry, 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then from here to here, my bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inch. That's what how I was able to get my armhole. Then here again, you apply your the same shoulder measurement, which I have my 7.5 there. Now, this is the calculation on how to get your armhole. Then I connect my line to get my curve just like that. Then I connect this as well to get my shape for my armhole, and it is set to go all of my calculation. So after doing that, what I'm going to do next is to get my bust measurement. My bust divided by 4 will give me 8.75. So I'm going to put my 8.75 at my bust region here. 8.75 my bust region here. This is my bust measurement plus 1 inch for sewing for ease, 1 inch for ease, then 1.5 for sewing allowance. That is my bust. Then my waist. My waist measurement is 30 divided by 4, which means 7.5. So I'm going to apply it at my waist here, not my under bust. I'm going to apply it at my waist here. So my waist is in total, it gives me 7.5. So I have my 7.5 for my waist, 1 inch for ease, and 1.5 for sewing allowance. So after that, from your waist to your hip, to get the connection from your waist to hip, it will give you 9 inch. From your waist to your hip is 9. So I have my 9 here. So this is my hip. So my hip divided by 4. My hip divided by 4 gives me 9.5. So I have my 9.5 here. 9.5 plus 1 inch for ease, then 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. So this is all about our calculation. It's very easy to calculate. So what we are going to do next at the hemming part of our dress, what I have in total for my hip here, that is what I'm going to apply at the down part of my dress. So what do I have here? So I have 12 inches. So I'm going to apply the same 12 inches at this down part, which is here. Then I connect my lines together. Then from here, if you have your hip curve, it will be easier for you. If you don't have, go ahead to connect. You can see how I put my hand. I curve it in like this. I go like this, not coming like this. Not coming like this. You can see I went like this. I took it this way to connect from my waistline down to my hip. So this was how I was able to get my curve. Please take note of this because you might give it straight. Make sure you give it that shape, that hip shape at your hip region there. So after doing that, you connect from your bust down to your waist just like this. Then what you have at your bust, you connect it down to your armhole just like that. So this is our sewing allowance for our 1.5 inch. Connect it also to your armhole. Then your armhole point, how to get your armhole curve is to divide what we have from our armhole. This is our 1 inch for our shoulder slope. What I have from here to here, which I have 7.2 divided by 2 will give me will give me 3.6. 7.2 divided by 7.2 divided by 2 give me 3.6. So this is the midpoint between 7.2. This is the midpoint between 7.2. So after getting your midpoint there, you're going to connect it to your main measurement. You know, from here to here is my bust, then 1 inch from my ease. So this is included in my bust measurement. So which I rule here, and this is our sewing allowance. So from this point now, I'm going to connect it down to this point which I have here, not connecting it to my sewing allowance. It is going to stop here, just like this. Just like this. And you can as well go in, you can as well come in by 0.5 when connecting your, for the front, not for back. This is for the front. If you want to connect for the front, but I want to make mine like this. I might do that after everything, but in case you want to connect just for your front, your back should be like this. But if you want your front to go in order not to get to terminate that rumple at your armhole area, what you are going to do is to connect from this your point here, connect it down to this 0.5 which you have here. Then from here you connect it like this. This will terminate that bulge you have at your armhole, but I'm not going to do mine yet like this. So I'm going with my back and front the same shape, my back and front with this fold like this. So after doing that, I'm going to get the width of my neck, and the width of our neck which we normally use is 3 inches. So it's 3 inches, so I'm going to place it at 3 inches here. Place it at 3 inches here. 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches is okay. I wanted to reduce it a bit at 3 inches there, and you can see the style on the thumbnail there. What we are going to do is create a slit at the center of our front. So this is my waist region which I have here, 16. So 16 here is my waist region, and I will go up by 1.5. Before my waist, I go up by 1.5 inch. Then for my neck depth for the back, I'm marking the back included. My neck depth for the back will be 1.5. So I have my 1.5 here, and I connect my back to my 1.5. Then from this my 3 inches which I have here, I'm going to connect it down to this 1.5 which I came up with from my waist. I'm going to connect it down to that 1.5 just like this, to give it that curve like this. So you can see what I have for my front, like give it that curve like this. So this, remind you, this shape is for the front and this one is for the back, 1.5. Then I'm going to connect my shoulder slope to my neck width. Connect my shoulder slope to my neck width. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Connect my shoulder slope to my neck width. So what I'm going to do now is to cut out everything as I have explained. So to cut out now, because I have already marked out everything I wanted to mark, or I need to mark. So my fabric sheet, so I'm trying to put it back in place before cutting out, so there is no mistake or any error that will occur when doing that. So making sure everything is set, making sure my fabric is set in perfect shape for cutting. So what I'm going to do now is to cut out my back first before cutting out my front. So I'll go ahead to cut out my back neckline. So after cutting out your shape, so you can see our shape is out already. So after cutting out the shape, so we are done for our back. Then we go over to the front. So you take out your back, keep it aside, then come back to your front for trimming. So your front now, we are going to trim your front just like this. So you can see our front, I have trimmed it down to the 1.5 inch which I came up with. Then I'm going to slit it open at the front. Because of the style, you can go ahead and check. You can see the style. Let me display it for you to see. You can see how we have it at the front there. So I'm going to slit it open like this. So this is how our front is going to look like. It is going to look exactly like this. But I'm still going to put my fabric, which as I told you, for my front downward. So this is my front and this is my back. So what I'm going to do, because this is very much easy for you to make. So what I'm going to do now is to just open it like this. You can go ahead to iron if your fabric is rough. You can see mine also is also rough. So I will go ahead to iron it for it to relax. I hope it does not disturb my calculation. So make sure you always iron your fabric before doing any cutting which you want to do. So what I'm going to do now is to join my shoulder by 0.5 inches. I showed you for your joining of your shoulder 0.5 inch. That is what I'm going to do for my shoulder. And at this front, you know, this front is going to have a pocket, two pockets. So I will put the pockets when it's time. So I'll let you know. Don't worry, as we go, that's how I'm going to show you on how to do that. So I will go ahead to join my shoulder, then I will come back to show you on what to do next. So join your shoulder and join your side. Join your shoulder and join your side. Then let me go ahead to do that and come back to show you what to do. So I have gone ahead to join the shoulder and join the side as you can see what I have here. So what we are going to do next is to fold your fabric just like this. You can either take your measurement like this or you take it from one side all the way to the other. You can either fold it like this and take a measurement from this your neck down to the full length, or you can go ahead to take it a measurement using your tape. You go ahead, use your tape to take all the way from this length to this other part, to this other side. So what I have here now is my fabric, and it will give me a little bit of issue, but there is no problem because it is going to relax at the hemming part of my dress, so there is no problem with that. So what I want to make it now, my width of my overlap which I want to put as a band, as a strap band which I want to put across my neckline will be 1.5 inch for the width. So 1.5 inch for the width. Then I'm going to fold it, let me say I'm going to use 3 inches, 3 inches as a width. Then 1.5 will be for my main width, 1.5 like this for my main width. So okay, 3 inches will be much, let me say 2.5. I'll make use of 2.5, but in total of what I want to make use of is 1.5 inch for my width. So what I'm going to do now, because I'm going to join, you can see my fabric is not enough, so I'm going to make 2 of what I want to do now. I'm going to show you on how to go about that. But I want to make 2 of this, and I'm going to join it at this part. My joining is going to sit at the neck region, so I'm going to show you everything you need to know about this. So let me go ahead and go off camera and fix everything, iron it, and come back to explain it for you to understand on how I was able to get it. So let me go ahead to do that. Okay, so you can see I've gone ahead to do mine. I have it set and ready. So how I was able to do this was, let me see if I can be able to explain it to you using this as an example. So what I did was to fold 0.5 inch just like this all the way down. After folding 0.5 inch, I bent it again, and make sure it is 1.5 as I told you. So I make sure what I am working with is 1.5. After folding this in like this with 0.5 inch, I make sure, then I bent it again, and I make sure it is 1.5 inch all the way down. But we first start from here. So I bend it 1.5 inch and iron all the way down. So after doing that, I went on to cut 0.5 inch as an allowance. After folding this like this, I went on to cut 0.5 inch as an allowance to cut it down. After cutting it down, what I have as the 0.5 inch, I folded it in. So let me come back to explain better for you to understand. This is an example. So with this, you will understand that better. So here is my fabric. So what I did was, it was just like as I told you, just like that. So I have this as my 0.5 inch, which I ironed. I have already joined this. You can see I have already joined it. This is the midpoint which I joined. You can't even notice it because it's like both ends are the same kind of fabric. So what I have here is 0.5 inch, which I fold and iron all the way down. After I fold it and iron all the way down, I bend it like this. This is the other part. This is it. This is it. Okay, 0.5 inch, and I ironed it down. Then I bent it like this and get my 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. So what I have here all through is 1.5 inch, which I have down. And this was like this. After having my 1.5 inch downward, it was like this. After having my 1.5 inch downward, I'll now fold this in. And when folding this in, take a look at what I want to do now. You can see this is my 1.5 inch. Then I cut out my 0.5 inch, which I want to fold in as I told you. So just take note of what I want to do now. Just take note of what I want to do now. So this is my 0.5 inch, which I cut out to fold in as I told you. So you turn it like this. Take note, this one outside is my 1.5 inch for my overlap. So what I did was to take it like this. You can see this one right here. I want you to understand this. This one right here is my 1.5 inch that I'm using as my framework. 1.5 inch. Then I fold it like this, and I bent this in. When I bent this in, this one here should go in about 0.1 inch in. Take a close look. You can see my 1.5 inch here, and you can see the other one inside. It goes in about 0.1 inch. You can see it is not equal. This is going in because when sewing, I'm going to sew this on top, so it will not meet this. Just take note of what I want to do. So I fold this in about 0.1 inch. It is not up to 1.5 as this other one. This one under is not up to 1.5. So after that, what I'm going to do now at this lesser part, I'm going to trim it out. Yeah, if it is much more than 0.5 inch, you are going to trim it up to the length of 1.5 inch all the way down at this lesser part of your fold. That is a better way to explain. So what I'm going to do now at that 0.5, what I'm going to do there is to take the lesser part. You can see the wrong side of my fabric. So you can see the wrong side of my fabric. This lesser part which I have here, the lesser part in width. Yes, lesser part in width. I'm going to take it out like this with my 0.5 inch as my guide for sewing allowance. I'm going to take it out like this and place my right side for this. My face is facing the wrong side of my fabric. So it is better if your fabric is not enough. It's better you start from your neckline. I want to use that down part to show you as an example. So if your fabric is not enough, make sure it goes more than your full length, at least a bit. If it is not enough, it is better you not even if it is not enough, it is better you start from your line, because I have a joining here, unless you do not have any joining. But since there is a joining here, it is very how will I say this, it is very important that you start from this part, so you'll be able to place this your joint area at this your notch here. So I want to use this down to show you how to go about that. So when doing the upper part, you follow the way I showed you using this down part. So the lesser part, the right side is going to face the wrong part of this fabric. Then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start from that midpoint and sew down before coming again to show you on what to do. But let me explain on what I want you to do before doing that. So what I'm going to do now, this lesser part, I'm going to sew it all the way down to this other part. So let me go ahead to do that first before coming, so you don't get confused. So as I told you, I have gone ahead to sew it from this side. So because I sewed it from the neck part, you can see where it stops. At the beginning, I have taken it from this part, it will short at this other part, so you can see this other part as well. You can see where it stops. So it is better, I prefer taking it from this part, because I'm still going to fold here by 2.5 inch in. So definitely this part is going to be inside. So it is very important to do just like that. So that was how I was able to sew the lower part of the fold. You know, I just explained that to the lower part of the fold. So what I'm going to do next is to iron here. I'm going to iron this flat. So when ironing this, make sure your iron does not affect this, so it does not faint or clean or wash. How will I say this now? Make sure your iron does not erase this your fold there, your fold line. Make sure you do it carefully, sprinkle it with water and iron it. And make sure when ironing, it is facing inward. So when you place it face like this, so I will go ahead to iron that, then come back to you. So I'll iron it like this down to the other part, then show you on what to do next. Okay, so I have gone ahead to iron it, and you can see how it looks. It is looking very nice and flat. So what I want to do now, you can see the neck part which I notched. This is the neck part. You can see the down part here. You can see the neck part which I have here. So I'm going to fold this in. Definitely, if you are able to do it the way I showed you, when you fold this in, it will relax properly. Then what you're going to do next is to pin it. I'm going to pin it with my pins. You can use your tailored pin and pin it down. Whichever pin you have, you can use. Just go ahead to do it very calm. Then pin it down. So you know what it means by pinning. Just go ahead to pin it down. Then after you have done pinning it, then you can sew with a little stitch close to the end. Please don't exceed it, but sew on this part here, but very close. Go ahead to sew, run a stitch down to this other part. So let me do my pinning and sew, then come back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have gone ahead to iron it, and you can see how it looks like. Very nice. And what I'm going to do next after that, what I'm going to do is to fold my hemline, to fold this down part. That is what I'm going to do. And you know what I kept for my folding of this down part is 2.5 inch. So 2.5 inch is my folding allowance which I kept at this down part. So I'm going to fold this by 2.5 inch, and I'm going to use my hemming gun. I'm going to use my hemming gun to hold it in place. So let me go ahead to fold it, iron it 2.5 inch down, then put my hemming gun to hold it in place. If you want to sew it, you can still go ahead to sew it, but I prefer using my hemming gun to hold it. So let me go ahead to do that before coming back to show you what to do next. Okay, so I want to cut out the pocket of the dress now. So the pocket, the width of the small pocket, which is the upper pocket, the width will be 5 inches and the depth will be 5.5 for the smaller one. Then for the bigger pocket, the width is 7 and the length is 7.5. So what you're going to do, after getting your measurement line, you're going to get 0.5 inch around your side pockets, and the down part 0.5 inches, and the upper parts will be 1.5 or 1 inch for your folding. So I will go ahead to mark out my 7 plus 1 for the side, which is the width is 7 plus 1 inch, 0.5, 0.5, 1 inch for the folding, making it 8, and the length 7.5 plus 2 inches, 1.5 for the upper fold, then 0.5 for the down, 7.5 plus 2 inches to make it 9.5. So I'll go ahead to rule out my pockets and come back to explain to you on how I was able to get that. So let me go ahead to do that. So these are my pockets which I have already cut in place. So I want to explain to you on how to go about this. So you can see what I have here is 1.5, and I use my hairstay to hold it in place. So my hairstay goes from this upper part to this down part because here is unfold. So it is holding this together without running a stitch, because I don't want to run stitch here. Or you can still use hemming gun, but I prefer using hairstay to do this. So here is the 7 inches which I told you. Here is the 7 inches, and here it is 0.5 which I used to turn it in, and here is the 7.5 inches because the length is longer than the width by 0.5. So here is the 7.5 inch and 0.5 to fold it in. So that's the same thing which I did for this other part. So I have 2 pieces of this, and for the smaller part the width is 5 inches, 5 inches and 0.5 inch to fold it in, and the length is 5.5, then 0.5 again to fold it in, and I have 2 pieces of this. Then these are for the covers of the pocket. So this one is for the smaller pocket. So what I have here, I have 6 inches. Remember the width of our pocket, the width is 5 inch, and here I have 6 inches because I am going to sew 0.5, 0.5, and it will fall in place, making it 5 inches. So as you can see, my pocket is unfold. So this unfold, now what I have here for the depth of my pocket is 3.5. So this 3.5 unfold. After sewing here, and I'll turn everything out, I'm going to sew 0.5 to cover this, 0.5 to cover this pocket. So everything for my pocket is 3 inches, but with my sewing allowance it is 3.5. So for the bigger pocket, what I have for my bigger pocket, as you may know, for the width is 7 inches. So here I have 7 inches, and here I have 8 inches because of my sewing 0.5, 0.5, and the depth of this which I have is 4 inches. And as you may know, 0.5 is for sewing allowance, and 3.5 is for the cover of the pocket. So I'll go ahead to sew my pockets for both the up and the down part, then turn it and iron, then come and show you on how to place them. So let me go ahead to do that. Okay, so I have gone ahead to make all my pockets available. So you can see what I have here, smaller one and bigger one. Everything is set, both the cover, the pocket cover, everything is set and ready. So what I was able to do, because I have marked out all my points where I want to place my pockets, so I want to brief you on that. So what I was able to do, from my shoulder I was able to get 8 inches. This depends on your armhole. If you are using the one of 9, you can go ahead to mark out your 9 inch. If it is 10, depends on your armhole. So what I'm making now is 8. So from my shoulder to this point now is 8. Then from this end, let me see if you can see it very clear. Let me bring this down for you too. So from this end I was able to come in by 0.5 inch, and at this down 1 inch. So that is my point. So you can rule your straight line there. Then here you can rule your 8 inches from this your shoulder points down to here, 8 inches. Then from here to here 0.5, from here to here 1 inch. Then you can go ahead to pin. So this is the same thing you will do for the other pockets. I want to use only this pocket. So after pinning your front pocket just like this, what you need to do is to get your waist from your shoulder to waist. So my shoulder to waist is 16. Then from my shoulder to waist down, make it 6 inches. From your shoulder to where your pocket is going to start from 6 inches. So that is where you are going to put your pocket from. So 6 inches from your waist to that position. So from here from this part to here will be 1 inch, because we have 1 inch at this other part. So here is starting with 1 inch and here is 1 inch. Then you rule your straight line. Then you rule your straight line as well from here to here 16, and from 16 to here 6. So your 6, you rule your straight line, then place your pocket just like this. So after placing your pockets, you are going to pin it down. You pin both the up and the down part. You're going to pin it down just like this. So after pinning, before you go ahead to sew, so it does not move when sewing, it will sit at that position which you want it to sit at. So I'll go ahead to do the other side of my pocket, then I'll go ahead to sew it, then come back to show you on how to fix your pocket. So let me go ahead to do that. Okay, so I have gone ahead to sew them, and I've sewed them in place. You can see how the pockets are looking now, very nice and neat. So what you need to do next, you can see my pockets cover. As you may know it, these are my pockets covered just like this, everyone with their own pockets. So what I'm going to do now, it is going to sit not quite close to the pocket here. So what I'm going to do now is to sew my 0.5 inch down to this point. After sewing my 0.5 inch from this point down to this point, I'm going to bend it to sit at the last part of that 0.5 inch. So it will be at the end and it will fold just like this. So after folding it like this, after sewing here your 0.5, you are going to bend it in like this, inward like this. So after bending it inward like this, you are going to sew on it down to this point here. And make sure when sewing that you are not sewing on top of this. It should be very close like this. It should be like this and not on top. It should be like this and not on top. So go ahead to sew it close. So I'll go ahead to do the same thing for all my pockets here, and I'll come back to show you what I have. Okay, so I have gone ahead to fix my pocket so you can see what it looks like. You can see everywhere is open. My pocket is open. Please don't go ahead to sew it close. You can see my pocket is open. I am almost through with this. I am almost through. So what we have to do next is our sleeve and our belt. So what I want to do now, we'll go ahead now to cut my sleeves. So let me go ahead to put that in place, then come back to show you on what to do on how to get your sleeve. So let me go ahead to do that. My sleeve, what I have available for my sleeve now, I have 1.5 inch of fabric. I have 1.5 inch of fabric which I want to use. So 1.5, that's what I have for my fabric which I want to use for my sleeve. So I want to determine the length of my sleeve. So you can see what I just do. I folded it into 2 and I fold it again into 4 because I want to cut my two sleeves out at the same time. So that is my sleeve being folded like that. So I'm folding it again to form what I want. So you can see my sleeve is being folded into 4 as if I want to cut a peplum, and I'm folding it as if I want to get a half flay. So that's what I'm trying to see to get the, let me see the hemming part of my sleeve. I have, this is 13 here, and the length of my sleeve is 24. The length of my sleeve is 24. Let me see what I have here. I have about 27. I have about 27. So 27, this will be okay to get my sleeve. That is what I'm trying to see now, to get my sleeve. Let me see what I have here again, because the sleeve is not as a full kind of play. To get my sleeve, I have 27 here, 27, 27, just like this, 27. So you can see what I'm doing, 27. So that is what I have, just like that. I'm trying to see if this will be small for my sleeve, if this will be small. Trying to see on how to make it bigger for my sleeve, to make it bigger. Okay, so let me go with this. I think this will be more than what it was before. Trying to see. So this is a way of getting my sleeve. So what do I have here? Okay. So I'm going to cut it out at this part like this. To get that shape, that is what I want to do right now. So marking out my sleeve, there I will cut out from, then open it. Then from here, I'm going to get my cap height from here, just like this. What do I have? Let me see, what do I have? Mine. So 9 connects like this, 9 like this. Okay. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do here. Hope you understand what I'm trying to do here. So this opening, I don't, if this opening will be much, so I'm still thinking of reducing it. This is a 4. Reducing it. Should I say reduce it? Should I say reduce? So your sleeve totally depends on how you want it to be wide. So I'm working towards the width of my sleeve. So you can see I just go ahead to shaping it, and shaping it. So I'll go ahead again to cross check my armhole. So it's still okay like this. Still okay like this. I'm just going ahead to cross check. I will still trim this. Don't want it too full. So you can see it on the thumbnail there, it's not that full. So go ahead again to trim it again. So I think this will be okay. I think this will be okay for my sleeve. So you can see what it looks like. So I think this will be okay for my sleeve. This will be okay for my sleeve. So what I'm going to do next now is to fold my hand part, which is the down part of my sleeve. I'm going to fold it. So I'm going to fold the hand part of my sleeve, sew it round, and sew the other part round. Then I'm going to come back. Just easy to make it. Just go ahead to sew it round. So you can see the 2-piece which I folded into 2 to sew. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to sew here, sew it close. So let me still cross check the length of my sleeve. Before doing that, I told you my full length of my sleeve is 24. So I have 27 here. So 24. After folding this down, it's supposed to take about 1.5 inch. 24, 25 and a half, 26. 26. So I'm going to reduce this by 1 inch. 26, 24 divided 26. So I'm going to reduce it at this down part by 1 inch. I'm going to reduce the length by 1 inch. So over to this other part. So just go ahead to place my other sleeve on this other part as well to trim out. Just go ahead to fold it to trim out. Place it on top, trim out just like this. So as I told you, I will go ahead to sew my sleeve. To sew this part on fold, I'm going to fold it twice. After folding it once and fold it twice, then sew it round. I'm going to do the same for the other parts. Then sew here close inside. You want to fix your sleeve. Then don't forget to notch here. When you want to fix your sleeve, don't forget to give this part a notch. So I'll just go ahead to fix my sleeve. I don't want to waste much of your time. I know I have taken much of your time, so I don't want to waste more time. So let me go ahead to fix it, then come back to show you on how to do your belt. Here is my belt which I have now. So I have 5 inches. This is the remaining fabric that I have right here. So I have split it in two, and what I have here is 5 on fold will be 2.5. So I'm going to sew 0.5 inch, making it 2 inches for my width in total. So what I'm going to do is to join these two parts together so it comes out long. Then I'm going to sew it close, then show you the result of the belt. That is very easy to make, so there is no need of showing you on how to do that. Let's go ahead to join here and sew it close. Let me go ahead to do that and go back to show you. Okay, so this is my belt which I have gone ahead to sew. So my belt is already ready. So this is the last part. We are almost through. We are almost done. We are almost done. This is the last part which we are going to do for this your dress now. So what I want to do now is to put a button, pressing button, the one that clips. That is the kind of button I want to use for this now. So I'm going to put a pressing button all the way to this up. So I'm going to put a pressing button just like this by 4 inches. 4 inches. Distance between one to another pressing button 4 inches, just like a shirt, because that's the kind of thing we are making now. 4 inches. 4 inches. 4 inches. So what I'm going to do now is to place this on this like this, and make sure it reflects on this other one. To make sure it reflects on this other one. All the way upward like this, and turn it out. So I'm going to mark it. So let me go ahead to put my pressing button just like this, then come back to show you the finished work. After that, I put it on the mannequin for you guys to see how it looks. So let me go ahead to do the rest part of it, then show you the finished result.